Okay, so this weekend we went 0-2, but for the most part we've obviously played pretty well Friday night and probably not so well Saturday night. With that information in mind and kind of the preseason as well, could each of you kind of walk me through your individual interpretations of how you feel like the season has gone so far? We'll start with you, Miranda.
Well, I thought we played great on Friday. We actually played as a team, started doing defense, communicating. Then Saturday, when he told us that if we didn't do so good that we was going to run on Monday, you got us guide in our minds and got us tensed up, so we were nervous and we're just thinking about Monday practice instead of actually there for the game.
Okay.
Friday, I thought we did really well. We played as a team. Everything we played basketball. We can't really say no more than, can't think of anything else. Saturday, I don't think we were ready to play, and we definitely did not play as a team like we had Friday night, which I think was a major part of it.
Okay. Morgan?
Our first weekend that we went out to Rockford or whatever, I thought we were going to come out really well. I mean, we played pretty close to our teams, and that was probably to be expected since we have 7 freshmen. And then where did we go the next weekend? I mean, it was still kind of the same, but this past weekend, Friday, we played really well. I mean, it seemed like everything was going good, so everybody was feeling good, ready to play. And then Saturday, I mean, we knew, everybody pretty much knew that we probably weren't going to win, so they just came out oh, what's the point? I mean, still have to play to compete, play hard.
Mm-hmm. And that was, I think, the most frustrating thing for me was, obviously as a coach, I kind of go into it thinking that if we do certain things perfectly well, we give ourselves a chance. And I think even Saturday, knowing how good Johnson County was, I felt like, especially the way we played them last year, even though it was on our home floor, I felt like if we did things the way we needed to defensively, we'd at least give ourselves somewhat of a shot. And so then to kind of see how we came out, I think was probably the most disappointing thing and probably the thing that frustrated me the most and kind of got me fired up. In terms of just the game of basketball at the college level in general, what do you guys think is the biggest difference that you have seen so far or that you maybe are still seeing as we kind of work our way into the season? We'll start with you, Morgan.
In high school, you pretty much play with the same girls that you've always played with since you were little. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot that you have to really, consider whenever, you're playing somebody. But at the college level, I mean, you don't know anybody. You don't know what's it going to be like or anything. And, a couple games in now, we actually know that it's faster paced, but you have to slow yourself down and actually think and make sure you make smart decisions.
Well, considering I haven't played all 4 years, but I think the speed of the game is definitely a big factor, and the athleticism of all the girls and how much stronger everybody is compared to when they were in high school.
Yeah.
What they said in the defense is really harder because they are actually wanting to do defense. High school defense, they didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
And in the shot clock, you can't spend all your time on half of the court. You have to do a play and make sure it's right, and so you can score.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest adjustment, like you guys alluded to. Obviously, the speed and physicality of the game is different, but I agree with you. I think one of the biggest changes that you're really starting to see, especially on the women's side, is teams want to pressure people because you're going to have your teams that go out and they get their 6'2" and 6'3" centers, but for the most part, everybody's playing a smaller lineup than what you maybe used to play even in women's basketball. And so if you're going to play that small lineup, the natural thing to do is to play really fast, and I think that always will start on the defensive end. You can't really play fast if you're not getting stops. If you're always taking the ball out of bounds, you're not going to really be able to push transition. And so I definitely think that's a big change for a lot of people, especially because at the high school level, usually if you're going to pressure people, you're going to do it from a zone, probably some type of 1-3-1 trap. And in college, you really don't see the 1-3-1 very often. So I agree with all of the things you guys said. And then the last one, what do you feel like you guys, each as individuals, still need to work on in order to improve to where you feel like you can at least feel comfortable with what you're doing in the live games as we kind of progress more into the season? And we'll start with you, Alycia.
Probably being physical. Being a post, you have to be physical, especially with, although I am 5'11", there are girls that are going to be 6', 6'3". Be more aggressive and understanding the not only the 4 position or the 5, but the 3 as well, since I'll be seeing some time up there.
Go ahead, Miranda.
The physicalness, because I'm also post and I'm not 5'11". But then I also have to work on my defense. Since I am short, I need to learn how to front and then how to defend a girl who's way taller than me. And then I guess offense too, because I wasn't an offensive player in high school. And now in college, I am a post, so I need to start learning how to do post moves better to get to the basket.
Go ahead, Morgan.
I need to probably work on like handling the ball with somebody like trying to zigzag me, because like whenever I dribble, I try to beat that person. That's like how I've always been taught, is you always have to beat them. But at the college level, it's a lot harder to beat that person, so you have to be able to handle the ball and like actually turn several times before.
Yeah, that's definitely a change. Definitely a change. And I think the biggest thing for us as a team is just continuing to understand the differences, not only just between high school and college, but also the differences that are going to be presented to us every single time we step out on the floor, because no team's going to play us the same way. I mean, I think when you look at the generalities of it, Johnson County and Kirkwood and Iowa Western all want to play the same way, but they're even going to do it themselves a little different. And so I think it's a matter of us really making sure that we just get comfortable with, this is the speed and physicality of the game. This is the, 1 or 2 little things that they're going to try to do, and it's universal across every team. And if we can adapt ourselves to play better in those aspects, then the other things we just kind of have to really make sure that we practice for each individual opponent then, and kind of play things that way. In general, and this is, I guess, kind of a, your own little special question. What do you feel like is the one thing that as a unit we have to do in order to play the way we played against Fort Scott against everybody? What's kind of that one thing? I know you guys alluded to playing like a team, but what do you mean when you say that, if that's your answer? Kind of try to be really specific with it. And we'll start with Morgan.
I feel like we need to come out every game and know that like there's always a chance we could win. Like it might not be a big chance, but we always have to come out with that mindset that we can come out and win.
Just communicating more. I don't know.
Yeah, communication.
We need to work hard on the floor. As soon as you get off the floor, you can not work hard, like rest, but as soon as you hit the court, you need to work hard.
Yeah. That was a conversation I had today, the importance of understanding that at this level, it's not like high school necessarily, where there's always that kind of one player on the other team that you can be like, okay, like this person's not going to do anything against us, just write them off. Even the most unlikely player always seems to find a way the second you doubt them for other teams, especially when you're talking about the really good teams. The girls that maybe haven't scored all season are good enough to score at this level. They just maybe haven't gotten their opportunities. And so the second you start to take plays off is where it really comes back to bite you. Anything else?